qualities of the food. Vents, graining, striations have all been designed to address their functions in the best possible way. Greasy hands need.
Olá pessoal, bem-vindos a mais um vídeo nesse canal. Nós somos cidadãos do terceiro mundo e nesse canal nós reagimos ao primeiro mundo. Nesse vídeo a gente vai reagir a por que o McDonald's é melhor na Europa.
Então pedimos que, por favor, considere se inscrever, ative as notificações e deixe mais sugestões lá no nosso Instagram. E agora vamos para a reação.
On November 19, 2022, Juan Baus tweeted this picture. Absolutely loving the design of this reusable packaging that's being introduced at McDonald's France. The reusable packaging went viral, like really viral. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, retweeted him and said something French. We saw all of this and had a lot of questions. How come McDonald's is introducing this type of packaging? Why in France? And why does it look so good? In the following months, we went down a rabbit hole and ended up modeling the entire dishware collection. As it turns out, sleek fry containers tell many stories. How the European Union is bringing conglomerates like McDonald's to their knees, not just in France, but all over the continent. How a country known for everything fancy developed a truly unique relationship with fast food, and a completely different type of McDonald's, McDo.
McDonald's in France, you don't understand how popular it is.
And, of course, how good design can transform experiences.
Have you ever been to a McDonald's in Paris?
No? Why?
E como é? Agora estou curiosa.
This is your life in weeks if you're lucky enough to turn 80 years old. And this is the amount of time you spent on your career. 80,000 hours. We choose to spend this time on researching McDonald's packaging for YouTube videos. You probably want to spend all that time on something meaningful that makes a big positive difference in the world. 80,000 hours is also the name of today's sponsor, a non-profit that wants to help you figure out how to do that. They've been researching the question of how you can find a fulfilling career that does good for years. They have a website that provides you all that research, a podcast, and also a newsletter. They have a job board that provides hundreds of open listings for potential high-impact career paths. And all of their advice and research is free, forever. So, if you're not sure how to do something that feels meaningful, helps others, and makes a positive difference, maybe check out their in-depth career guide at 80,000hours.org/fern. Life is short, but what you do with your decreasing time is up to you. Anyways, it all started with a simple message. Yo, Juan, would you be down? He was.
There is something there with the whole ad campaign around it, and I think people's reactions to it are quite good. But then also maybe like questions like, are people gonna steal this?
When Juan is not going viral and getting featured in Drew Gooden videos, he's a UX writer for some of the biggest brands out there. Oh, and Juan also lives in Paris. To get a better look at this weird new packaging, we needed a man on the ground. Juan was that man. The design is truly spectacular. We will get to that in a minute. First, we need to understand why this is happening. As we reviewed Juan's footage and dug deeper, we realized that it's not just the packaging that makes French McDonald's special.
Chapter 1. The Rise of McDo.
Fast food in France do not seem like a good match. It's the country of fine dining, Michelin stars, and long-lasting dinners in cozy bistros. When McDonald's came to the country in 1997, the French were skeptical.
70, 80 top chefs in the country took out a newspaper ad in the country's biggest newspaper saying that they thought it was preposterous that McDonald's was coming to France. And they were like, this is absolutely ridiculous. We need to stop this fast food thing.
But they could not help but indulge, like everybody else on the planet.
Ici, c'est plus complet, c'est plus sympa.
Nonetheless, the company remained controversial for decades. In 1992, it launched a poster campaign showing the French chef and absolute superstar Paul Bocuse secretly dreaming about a Big Mac while examining a pile of plump chickens. The chef sued right away for $2.7 million.
When I found out these were real Big Mac advertisements, I immediately contacted my lawyers and instructed them to seek damages. How can I be seen promoting this tasteless, boneless food in which everything is soft?
His lawyer added the ad would be
An intolerable insult to the Pope of world cuisine.
7 years later, it got much worse for the fast food chain.
Uau! Isso,
Eu não tinha ideia disso.
eu também não tinha ideia disso e eu tô muito surpreso como lá na Europa as empresas não chegam lá e simplesmente fazem a sua vontade. Ali a situação é outra, é diferente, apesar que aqui a gente está entrando um pouco no contexto cultural também da França. Pela gastronomia, né, e todas as coisas relacionadas a esse sentido.
At the time, the World Trade Organization and the US were trying to force Europe to accept imports of hormone-induced beef. Europe resisted, and the US in turn imposed heavy duties on certain luxury products as a retaliatory measure. One of the items targeted was Roquefort cheese, from France. French sheep farmers were angry, and they found a symbol of American global capitalism and trade doctrine like no other: McDonald's. So a French horde went and utterly wrecked a restaurant of the chain, which was currently under construction in the small French city Millau. The horde was led by the activist and sheep farmer José Bové, the Frenchest-looking man of all time. I mean, what even is this pipe? The McDonald's incident made Bové a national hero and leader of the French anti-globalization movement. He published a best-selling book 2 years later, and in 2007 he ran for president. Later he went into European politics, all on the back of really hating McDonald's.
José Bové rose to global fame 15 years ago after he demolished a half-built McDonald's.
However, despite Bové's crusade, McDonald's could not be slayed. Off the bat, it had a competitive advantage over brasseries, bistros and cafés. The restaurants were designated as takeout joints. This meant the value-add tax was just 5.5% versus the 19.6% at gastronomic restaurants. The food was cheap and the French economy was bad, like always. Another factor played a much bigger role though. McDonald's always has been good at inserting itself into the local culture of the country it operates in. But nowhere has it succeeded on such a scale as in France. The company realized that French customers were drastically different from American ones. Americans visited McDonald's more often, at any time of the day, frequently alone, opting for takeout 70% of the time. In contrast, the French came in groups, spent more money per visit, and significantly more time in the restaurants. 70% of them dropped in during regular lunch and dinner hours.
Agora, essas pessoas que vão juntas, ali passam mais tempo juntas,
É uma
gastando...
socialização, né?
Sim, exato. É exatamente isso que eu ia falar, porque isso entra muito no comportamento do próprio europeu. Por quê? Porque o europeu, ele gosta de sair, ele sente a necessidade de sair. O que eu quero dizer é que na Europa não existe esse rigor em relação ao trabalho como é nos Estados Unidos. As pessoas, elas trabalham, mas elas não vivem para trabalhar. As pessoas, elas trabalham, mas elas têm a vida delas também, e lá... Na Europa, a gente percebe que o tempo, ele é muito... Ele não é flexível. Você tem o horário do seu trabalho e você tem o horário do seu lazer, da sua vida fora do trabalho. Então, as pessoas, elas socializam. Então, elas vão em grupos e passam tempo lá socializando, porque isso é muito comum dos europeus. Enquanto nos Estados Unidos vai uma pessoa sozinha, às vezes vai outra, às vezes vai duas pessoas. E é um comportamento realmente muito diferente do europeu.
Mas a gente já tinha visto isso em outros vídeos, como eles realmente estão muito mais focados, os estadunidenses estão muito mais focados no trabalho, às vezes realmente pede para viagem, até come no carro, né? No trânsito, enquanto o europeu não, mas o europeu ele tem uma flexibilidade maior, né? Eu acho que o lazer, o bem-estar é visto como uma coisa essencial na Europa. E já nos Estados Unidos parece que eles não estão muito atentos a isso.
Enquanto na Europa você tem um horário determinado para você trabalhar e para você ter a sua vida fora do trabalho, nos Estados Unidos parece que toda hora está sendo contada para você fazer dinheiro, né?
French McDonald's was not treated like a takeout place by customers, but like any other bistro. As NPR puts it, sitting down to a meal is a cornerstone of French culture. So the chain adapted. In the US, its restaurants are designed to attract people from afar, the golden M glooming high, calling you to that sweet, sweet drive-in in a car. The interior is often a little uncomfortable, intended to minimize customer visiting time and maximize purchasing turnover. In France, the restaurants are often sleek, modern, and comfortable. You can find relatively cozy corners designated specifically for larger groups of people. Sometimes there's even table service. On the outside, the golden M is often subdued on the facade.
Caramba!
The architecture is regionally
É tipo
diverse.
outro lugar,
McDonald's
né?
in France almost doesn't feel like fast food. That is so apparent, even the dumbest show on the planet, Emily in Paris, noticed.
This is so chic. There's no grimace, no hamburglar.
What's a hamburger?
Never mind.
Products are locally sourced, and there are unique offerings like the obvious McBaguette, but also a Croque McDo. McDonald's does this everywhere, of course, but they do it very well in France. There's a funny little review of the world-famous La Dorée macarons in Paris on TripAdvisor. The reviewer concludes, the macarons taste the same as the ones sold at McDonald's across the road, except for 4 times as much as the price. You see, this person from London is not just angry, they are onto something. The macarons at McDonald's are indeed manufactured by the same company. Today, McDonald's is universally called McDo in France. It is a cultural institution and even has its own slogan.
Venez comme vous êtes. So like, come as you are.
It is considered to be one of the biggest and most profitable markets for McDonald's in the world. So, McDo is special. But why would they come up with reusable dishware? It seems like quite the hassle. Well, the root of it all is the EU.
Chapter 2. The EU's War on Plastic.
Sometimes people don't realize how powerful the EU actually is. The European Union's executive body, the Commission, can issue directives. These directives are goals which must be achieved by all member countries, but every country can decide on how to get there. Once translated into national law, the member states must notify the Commission, which in turn checks if it is A-OK. Then the directive needs to be enforced in every country. If a member fails, it may get fined. A particularly famous directive is Directive 2019/904 of the European Parliament and of the Council of 5 June 2019. Okay, whatever, nerds. Basically, it's a big EU move to reduce the impact of plastic on the environment. This includes the much ridiculed ban of plastic straws and balloon sticks. But in truth, it goes much further than plastic straws becoming paper ones. For example, the directive makes single-use plastic producers pay to clean up single-use trash. And finally, the important point, it forces member countries to find ways to reduce the consumption of single-use plastics, such as food containers and beverage cups. France is always exceedingly extra and top of the class in combating plastic. They've gone way above what was expected and banned new single-use plastic packaging from 2040. From early 2025, new plastic packaging has to be made of 100% recycled plastic. And since the beginning of 2023, single-use packaging is banned from French fast food restaurants.
Caramba!
Which brings us to this.
Agora me pergunto, será se o preço é maior porque eles fizeram algumas mudanças, né? E isso, se fosse feito no Brasil, provavelmente o valor ia aumentar, ia ser repassado o custo. Mas ele não menciona nada, então assim, fiquei curiosa sobre isso.
Chapter 3. Le dessin est incroyable.
When we first chatted with Juan, he shared our initial fascination with the French McDonald's reusable packaging.
If you look at the fries basket, like it looks sort of, you can immediately tell what it is, like a McDonald's fries basket. But it looks kind of modern. It looks kind of like, apple-fied. Yeah, they kind of nailed it with the design.
Juan also filmed how you ultimately return the dishware. The process seems a lot more dignified than the usual dumping of 500 kilograms of trash into an oversized, nasty, overflowing eat-it-all bin. We went on to model the dishware based on his footage and promotional material. Because why not? It's undeniably French. The design studio behind it is called Ilium. They picked a plastic called Trident for the various containers, which is similar to glass and ceramic in its hardness and transparency, and preserves the organoleptic qualities of the food. Vents, graining, striations have all been designed to address their functions in the best possible way. Greasy hands need great grip. The development of this technology took over 2 years. Unsurprisingly, it gets stolen a lot. The reused dishware went viral with good rights, but it's just one small part of a much more elegant whole. For a country where eating at the restaurant is the norm, it makes even more sense that the food is not needlessly overpacked anymore. However, it's unclear if relying on reusable plastic is actually more sustainable than switching to long-wearing glass or china. The French
E tudo essa questão do meio ambiente, você utilizar plásticos reutilizáveis, isso realmente é uma ideia fantástica. Né? Realmente é muito interessante isso, porque para combater a poluição, uma forma de combater a degradação ambiental, eu achei isso uma ideia realmente fantástica.
government promises to remain vigilant on this question. McDonald's has been doing very tiny steps towards improving their packaging for more than 30 years. Ironically, we made a video in German before knowing about all this, criticizing the chain for greenwashing their enormous trash footprint in Germany and pretend fixing the issue. Some EU directives and one chunky national law later, we get this. To us, this is a story of how business, if set on the right track through legislation, can really leap forward. McDo really did turn around the French anti-plastic legislation to their benefit, simply through introducing a design so noteworthy, people talk about it. Like us.
Ah, surpreendente. Isso realmente achei fantástico. Uma coisa que chamou a minha atenção nesse vídeo toda foi o fato da Europa, de uma certa maneira, a França impor ao McDonald's dos Estados Unidos a chegar lá e a mudar a dinâmica deles para atender ao público francês, mas também atender às demandas do próprio país. Então, eu achei isso muito, muito interessante, mas outra coisa que chama a minha atenção é toda a estrutura que o McDonald's teve que refazer em relação ao ambiente que ele atende as pessoas, também para se adaptar ao país e atender aos franceses. Isso realmente eu achei outra coisa muito fantástica, além, é claro, de eles terem que investir num material que seja ecologicamente aceitável. Então, eu achei isso fantástico.
É verdade, eu confesso que fiquei muito surpresa com essa questão das embalagens, porque eu nunca havia pensado nisso, né? Mas também fiquei curiosa sobre o preço, se isso de alguma forma é repassado ou não. Mas eu achei incrível, né? Eu acho muito interessante, eu venho visto isso em vários lugares, como as empresas, quando chegam na Europa, elas realmente precisam alterar algumas políticas, né, da própria empresa para poder se encaixar lá. E pra gente isso é uma coisa muito, muito interessante de observar, porque aqui é o contrário, quando uma empresa de fora chega aqui, geralmente ela é até mais bem tratada do que uma empresa nacional. Então, é bem provável que regras rígidas sejam mais brandas para uma empresa de fora. Mas é muito interessante ver como na Europa eles não estão se importando com isso, mas se importando muito também com o que vai estar entrando lá, né? E aí acaba que sim, a empresa, se ela quiser estar ali presente, ela vai ter que realmente fazer alguma manobra para poder, né, servir aquele mercado. E realmente eu acho isso fascinante. Acho que até se fosse adotado em outros lugares seria interessante, mas desde que não fosse repassado para o público, né, os valores, não sei, realmente não sei, mas é uma ideia muito diferente e eu não tinha ideia dessa história toda do McDonald's. Mas é isso, então a gente espera que você tenha gostado desse vídeo e aproveita também para deixar mais sugestões lá no nosso Instagram.
Muito obrigado por assistir esse vídeo e a gente se vê na próxima reação.
Tchau!